fourth grade. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to science. Here's our plan for today. It says, hello fourth grade. Today is Wednesday, March 25th, 2020. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go over activity number 3. Then I'm going to take some time for you to be going around and gathering materials. We'll do that together. And then we're going to build together. Today we're doing the kaleidoscope. So we're going to put that together. And remember, you can always pause this video or go backwards if you need more time. So go ahead and go to the science folder that came home. And you're going to pull out the sheet of paper that looks like this. It's the kaleidoscope paper, and it is two-sided. And then you're going to go ahead and get your science journal, and let's turn to the page that has the different activities. So here we are in the light and color science menu, and we're going to go over experiment number 3. It says light experiment. Build your own kaleidoscope. Use the instruction sheet, that's the one you just pulled out of your folder, or research it with an adult and design your own. There are a lot of neat designs online, but I'm going to stick to the one that's on the paper here. If you feel like you'd rather do something else, please make sure you check with an adult first before going to look online. So let's go ahead and take this paper and look at it together. I realized as I was going through it that many of these items I did not send home with you. And so I had to go around my house and try and find things that would work. So the first thing that you're going to need to try and find is a paper towel tube. It looks like this, or you could find 2 toilet paper tubes and tape them together, or you can look around and you could even take a piece of thin cardboard like a cereal box, and you could roll it into a circle and tape it. Then you're going to need some scissors. Hopefully you can find a rubber band, or if not, we'll figure that out as well. And you're going to need some saran wrap. I have some Glad saran wrap. Some wax paper, although it's not necessary, but if you have some, you can find that. It's helpful to try and find something that's sort of sparkly little beads. I happen to have in my home a bin of extra beads, and so I went ahead and pulled out just a small amount of those. I put a few right here, actually in my saran wrap, a few pieces. And the other thing you're going to need is some tape and a marker. And I also would like you to go ahead and find the prism that I took that went home with you. There's a little bag that has a magnifying glass and a prism. Now, as you go around your home, if you need to pause the video here, go and try and collect those things. Or, as we build it together, you can go and find the items too. The part that you're not going to need is this utility knife. You're not going to need that. And this sheet of clear heavy-duty plastic, you're also not going to need that. If you have construction paper in your home, you will need a piece of black construction paper. I did not, so I'll show you what I used for the black piece of paper. Okay, let's go ahead and start doing this together, and we'll go through the instructions. So it says, with this sheet of heavy-duty plastic, you're going to fold it up. Well, guess what? I didn't have one of those. So what I decided to do instead was to use my prism. And I knew that my prism would be going in the bottom of the tube, but unfortunately it is too small. So I went around my house and I tried to think of something that could fill up the space around the prism. I found this mailing envelope that's here, and I cut out a strip of it like this. Some other things that you might want to use could be like a paper towel, or it could even be like a thin sock, or a piece of dish towel or something. And so what I did is I took my prism and I'm wrapping it up in this mailing packet, just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick that in the end of my tube, just like that. Okay, and it's okay, you can kind of play with it for how far it is away from the end, but just so that it's just not going to come out super easily. It's kind of sticking it or keeping it inside the tube. Okay, so that takes care of the instructions number 1 and number 2. And in fact, it gets us to the first part of number 3. Then it says, turn the tube on one end and trace a circle around it on black construction paper. Cut the circle dot and tape it onto the end of the tube. Poke a hole in the center. Well, I went around my house and I didn't have any black construction paper. So I thought of 2 ideas that could work for you. I did have a piece of printer paper and I do have a black marker. And so I can take the black marker and I can make it black. The other thing that I decided to do was I happened to find this mailing paper that was black, but it doesn't have to be black, it just can't let any light in. And so what I decided to do was to take that piece and I made a square. I'll show you right here. I cut a piece of square like this, and now on the opposite side of where you put in that prism, you're going to turn it over and put this on. Before you do that though, it says cut a small hole in it, and this will be where you're looking through in the kaleidoscope. So I took my piece of paper and I made 2 cuts. One little slit this way, and then I folded it the other direction and made another little cut. And then I opened up those little pieces. So now I have a little hole in the middle of that black piece of paper. If you've decided to do that on your piece of printer paper, or if you do have a black piece of construction paper, you're going to cut out the square and then go ahead, use that same technique where you fold and then cut into it. That makes it possible to do the cut in the middle. Then I did have tape. So I went and I got some tape and I've taken it here and I'm putting it over the end, and now I'm taking it down. And I'm trying to get most of the corners to be taped down, just so it doesn't fall off. So take your time, tape some of those down, and then give it a try. Can you see through it? Can you see through the prism? And is most of the other space around it covered? Okay, remember you can pause this if you need to. Next, we're going to build the other end of the kaleidoscope, and this is the part when you're looking through that has the sparkly pieces that when you rotate it kind of shine in the light. So let's take a look and see what it says here. It says turn the tube over. Okay, here we go, black part down. And place a square of plastic wrap on the other end, other open end. Press down on the plastic to create a 1-inch pocket and fill the pocket with shiny glittery things. Okay, so I went to my saran wrap. Okay, this is my plastic wrap, and I took off a piece. Then I filled it with nice little shiny things. So these are my little beads that I have here. Just a few of them, not too many. Now I'm going to put them in here, and I'm going to press down to make a little pocket so they go inside. Just a little bit, down just a little bit. Then, number 6 says, place waxed paper square over the plastic wrap end and secure both with a rubber band. So then I went and I had some wax paper. If you don't have wax paper in your home, don't worry about it. Just take another piece of saran wrap, like this, plastic, or something else that might be a little bit transparent, maybe even some of the items that you found last time, and stick it over the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that wax paper, putting it over the top like this, securing it down, and then I have a rubber band, and I'm gonna put it around 2 times like this. If you don't have a rubber band, take some tape and tape it down. Then it says, using scissors, trim the edges of the wax paper and plastic wrap to make it look neater. I'll leave that up to you. I think this looks just fine. So then I can start to rotate it and look through and see my shiny objects. If you flip your paper over, then we get into the sort of decorating it. It says, does your kaleidoscope look awesome? Well, of course it does. You made it here in science class. Then you can decorate the outside with wrapping paper or stickers. I happened to find some wrapping paper. This was one of those small sheets after wrapping a present that never gets used. And I decided to put it around here. And I haven't fastened it down yet, but my thought is that I'm going to take this and put it around, cut it off so that it fits, and tape it around the tube. Then you can enjoy looking through it and perhaps brighten someone's day by showing it to them. Take it outside. How does it look outside versus inside if you're looking at a light? When you are finished, you are going to take your iPad and under this assignment, add a posting to it, and I would like you to take a short video to show me your kaleidoscope. As you're taking the video, show me what you used for your materials and what creativity you used to solve any problems for materials you didn't have, just like I did. Post any questions you have. Make sure your family send me an email if you're having any problems. And I'm so glad we still get to do science together. Bye, 4th grade.